Bigfoot cooking.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking. Today, we're making a Squatch High deep dish apple pie. A whole lot of words, but it's a whole lot of good. I mean, just look at this thing. Amazing, flaky, it just screams, eat me. So how do we do this? Well, step one, the recipes. I know y'all like the cards before, so we're gonna start out, I got my cheat sheet right here. We're gonna start out with a crust. What does the crust need? 2.5 cups of flour. We use all-purpose, but with this part, I don't think it'll matter that much. 2.5 cups of flour, half a tablespoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt. Yes, salt. Trust me, it's well worth it. 2 sticks of butter, and 6 tablespoons of ice water, which also makes 3 shots of ice water, which also makes 1/3 cup. You decide your measuring device. All right, now for the next part, the filling. Good stuff. We're gonna need, you got that part? We're gonna need a stick of butter, because butter always makes it better, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1/4 cup of water, and a cup of sugar. All right, pause. Okay, and now the main part, the filling, the goodness, the yummy. You're gonna need 10 apples. Yeah, that's more than 10. You're doing, oh, there's the card. Okay, sorry about that. All right, you're going to need about 10 apples, which is roughly 3.5 pounds. If you get bigger ones, hey, so be it. I like the Granny Smith. They hold up really well when you bake them. If you use some of the others, you still have an apple pie, but it's more like an apple mush with a crust on it. Granny Smith, primo apples. Traditional too. And then we have 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now, we have some folks who can't eat cinnamon around here, but not this pie. It's getting the full treatment. 1 egg and a tablespoon of sugar. Between all of that, there's your ingredients. Now let's get to some cooking. And now let's make your traditional pastry crust. We're going to start with our flour. Boop, 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 boop. Nobody's left. We're going to add our little bit of sugar. We're going to add our more than a pinch of salt. And now we whisk. Because even though they're dry ingredients, nobody likes to get a mouthful of salt. I mean, let's think about it. Unless you're really, really weird, and then, hey, you don't need this cooking show. You need something else. And now the butter. Now the butter part, we're going to do 2 different ways to kind of show you. One, we're going to do by hand, and the other we're going to do by electric. All right, now for the hand butter part. We take our stick of butter, and I'm only going to do half of this stick because I'm lazy. And we are going to pull this guy off. And we're going to take our slices of butter and we're going to drop them in. Ain't they pretty? All right. And now the fun part. All right, we're going to take the butter and basically you're just mashing the flour into it. But of course you do it in here and you just grind this stuff up and you mix it in. And what you wind up with is almost like a cornmeal type texture as it absorbs the flour and mixes in. Again, this is kind of the hard way, but you know, it works. It's worked for mom, it's worked for grandma, and it'll work for you. You just have to be willing to play in the dirt, or in this case, the flour. And now, by the power of electricity, the Ninja. Not that I'm brand loyal, but this is a pretty awesome little blender or food processor. Wrong terminology there. So we've got the flour in here. I'm going to take the butter, drop it in, and not all of it at once, but I'm going to drop in a couple pieces and we're going to mix that up. It's going to be a little loud. But the awesome part is you just hit the pulse. Get it all in there and then drop a few more pieces. And we pulse. All right, and let's see what we've got. If I pull the lid off and check, that cornmeal that I was kind of talking about earlier, it's crumbly, it's mixed, the butter is fully incorporated in the flour. Now it's time to turn it into that pastry dough. We need the cold water. All right, time for our 3 shots of cold water. I mean, 1/3 cup. I got to remember my measuring. All right, and again with the pulse. All right, and let's see what we got in here. Take the lid off, and if we pull this out, it's extremely grainy, and if you mash it together, it holds the texture. That's what we're after. Now let's dump it out and mush it up. And now let's kind of get this guy put together. We're going to take our nice, messy amount of everything. Oh, look at that glorious mess. Let me set that guy down, and now we're going to come in. We're not really going to knead it. We're just going to pack it together and kind of form a bit of a cake. Well, I don't guess it's a cake. I mean, after all, it is pastry dough. See how it's holding shape? Everything's beautiful. Now what we're going to do, we're going to set this guy here. We're going to cover it up because we don't want it to dry out. And look at there, he's so pretty. Now let's put this in the fridge for about an hour and let it cool off. And while that's going on, let's make our filling. All right, as far as the filling goes, we start out with the best thing of all, butter. We'll melt this into the pan. Once it's melted, we'll add the flour. Now that our butter is melted, we're going to add our flour while stirring. And just keep this going for about 2 minutes or so, or just until it's nice and well incorporated and you have no lumps. All right, now that we got all that done, we're going to add our water. And then we're going to add our sugar. Now you think that this is a whole lot of sugar because as you see, you suddenly lump up. Oh, but wait until you behold the power of melted sugar. Now we are going to keep stirring this until there are no crystals and it just is nice and smooth and it almost looks like a caramel. Yep, look at that. Smooth, silky, delicious. Oh yeah, the power of apple pie compels you. And look at there. I mean, is that not silky, smooth deliciousness just waiting to go on a pie? So we're going to let this sit here and cool off. You actually really want this to cool off. If you put this on hot apples, they start to sweat. And I know I'm uncomfortable when I sweat. You don't want your pie to sweat too soon, at least until you get it into the firebox. Rules are different then. So now, on to the apples. You know her, you love her, Granny Smith. Actually, I have no idea who Granny Smith is, but she makes some really good apples. So I'll roll with it. Now, peeling time. How do you peel? Well, you can go old school, or I prefer the apple peeler. Slide this guy on, crank it up a little bit, and watch how this guy goes. We keep turning, pull this back till it starts. Not only are we shelling the thing, like it's a freaking crawdad or something, but we're peeling everything off, we're coring it, and what you have left is one big swirly gig. Now that we got our apple slinky, couple of cut. Oh, it's not gonna make it. Cut, boom, look at there. Apple pie is cut, sliced, and ready to go. So let's dump it in the pot. Scoop these guys up. They go in the magic keep bowl, and then the core. And this, you know where they're going. Chicken food. Now let's get the rest of these done. And that's the magic of the apple peeler. Now, one thing you may not realize, this blade, you can take it off the front and just use this part, and it peels potatoes too. Oh, you have no idea how much time I have saved by being able to literally just throw the potatoes on there and skin them. Done. Okay, and now that we've got that, here you have one make a chicken happy bowl, because they will fight each other for that. And you have one bowl of apple pie goodness. Oh yeah. So now it's time to sprinkle the cinnamon and mix it in. All right, dash of cinnamon, because I mean, it's an apple pie. I mean, you could even go crazy and go ahead and add yourself in a little bit of vanilla extract if you really wanted to season this thing up. But for me, today, I'm good with just the cinnamon. All right, good coating on this. Now it's time for the star of the show, the filling. Let's just get in here. Ooh, I almost let it cool just a little too much. But you can't really mess this up. So now, it's a little thick as you can see, but believe me, take a few minutes and stir it in and get it all over every apple. You'll taste the difference here in a little while. And now, you remember this? The dough? Time to break into this. It's nice, chilled, firmed up really good. Let's take and gingerly apply a little snow. Look, it's winter. I wonder if you can make a constellation, like some stars. I don't know. I like making a big old mess. All right. Let's take our dough, open it up. For this part, you're going to need just a little more than half. So we'll take this guy. All right. Ain't that impressive? Look at it. All right. Come on, kids, into the pool. All right. Wrap you up. I'm coming back for you. All right. So now we're going to rough mash it because it's really thick. Let's see. And of course, get some flour on all the sides because in theory, it won't stick. In reality, I don't care what you do. This stuff will not cooperate. And now, our French rolling pin. Why a French rolling pin? I don't know, sounds exquisite. Got a little flour on it. We're just going to start rolling the dough. Turn it a little. Roll the dough. Kind of got a football going on here, so let's see if we can work this into a round. Takes a little time, but you know, what else have I got to do besides make a apple pie? All right, we got our dough nice and rolled. Everything's looking good. Now the hard part is getting from this to the pan. Let's see how well this goes. Now, you can take the little scraper here, roll everything up nice and neat and loosely onto your roller. Makes it where it transfers a lot better than trying to pick it up and watching all your dreams and hopes fall apart. And here we have a pre-greased spring form. Why a spring form? Oh, well, how else are you going to get a deep dish apple pie? Let's see. Ooh, look at there. I made it. I might be getting good at this. All right. Work this guy down into here. Now, this ain't going to be a perfect fit, and that's okay. I'll show you how to work on that because I have made plenty of mistakes in this process. Now, kind of mash it up on the sides because you do want a nice thick edge. And this little tongue that's sticking out, if you just mash on it, you can pretty much cut it like that. And that's going to give you the extra dough that you need to bring it around. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. Nice little strip. We're going to mash it into the side over here. And that's where we're going to rebuild and keep going with our edges. And bam, looky there. Tucked up, nice, pretty. What do you think happens next? You know what happens next. Let's fill this baby. Woo, look at that. Every one of these guys is going to make it. We have a no apple left behind policy. There you go. Now, work this in. Like I say, you don't want to smash it down too hard, but you want to get this pan nice and filled and make it where when this guy settles in, everybody's happy. All right, how's that look? Nice and level and delish. All right, now, I know you want to put a fancy top on it, So why don't we do that? Let's move you out of the way for a minute and bring in the fanciness. All right, for the top, same as before, we make it snow, 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 because we don't want it to stick, stick, stick. Get the rest of our lovely pastry dough out. I mean, that just looks amazing to me. Oh. All right, we're gonna work it back into a round. Get it ready for the smash. Oh yeah. Picking it up, keep it from being sticky. Might need more of that bottled snow, you never know. And we are going to start with the French roller again. Now, let me tell you about the French roller. I don't know a dang thing about it. But I did learn one thing the hard way. You know how you go to the store and you buy something, and of course they have a price tag on it. And you go and pull the price tag off of it, and it leaves that gooey glue stuff behind. Well, that's what this was. We picked it up, and lo and behold, there was the sticker. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? It's brand new. Who knows how many people loved on it before we get the love on it. Let's put it in the dishwasher. We did. Don't do that. Because what happens is it's wood. So all the little fibers and everything that are on it stick up. And as they stick up, when you pull it out, it feels like a piece of sandpaper. Well, I also figured out a way to fix that. You know how when you're doing dishes and you got your little scrubby pad, your little green scrubby, blue scrubby, whatever color scrubby it is. Anyway, you take that guy and you polish it up and it gets back to being smooth again. And you put in your head, hey, I ain't doing that again. But other than that, that's the only maintenance I know for a French rolling pin because, hey, it's a stick. It's a pretty stick. It makes some good food stick, but it's a stick. So let's get this rolled out. Okay, now we got our dough nice and rolled out. Time to cut it into strips. And have I got the coolest tool out there to cut it into strips? I think it's called a pasta bike. I don't know, pastry cutter. But anyway, it makes it almost where you can't screw this up. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this. We've got the thickness of the lattice that we want to go on top preset. And we're going to cut the dough into strips. We set this guy here, pull it down, and just pull it back. Look at there, look at there. Now, how do we get another one? We're going to take this wheel, put it right in the groove that we just made. Actually, I'll start back here. And we're just going to follow it down, keeping our eye on the ball. And look at there. And we're going to do it again right here. Same thing. Now, this one goes in that groove. And we're just going to roll right on down. Now, whew, got a little overlap. That's all right. It'll still taste great. Now, let's work on building the lattice. The weatherman has showed up and it is pouring rain. So hopefully that won't affect this at all. A little high humidity. All right, we're going to pull this strip up, lay it right across the pie. Don't worry about what hangs over. Not a problem. We're going to do it again. Give yourself a little space between them. We're going to do it again. See how easy that comes up? I tell you what, that pasta cutter is an amazing little toy. All right, and for the S, let's pick this guy. Hey, look, I got room for a baby. So we're going to stick one more right here. All right, now for your lattice. You can go straight across, but I want to make this just a little bit fancy. So we're going to go at an angle. Now I'm sticking this one here as a marker. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this one back. I'm going to pull this one back. And we are going to put another piece. Ooh, that one's too short. I'm underestimating myself. We're going to put this guy right here. Let's see, and they're keeping everything straight. Lay this guy down. Get on down in there. Get on down in there. All right. And then we pick this one up. I don't have another one there. Now I can use the guy that was too short and I can lay him right here. All right. Now, this one, my marker comes off. And just like before, this one's down, so it comes back. And this one comes back. And this guy goes in. Keep everything spaced. This is one of those things you can be extremely picky on and like go for super perfection. Or at the end of the day, you realize it's just an apple pie. It will taste the same. All right. Back again. Back again. Another little piece. Back down. And for the final piece, you come up. You come up. You go down. All right. A little touch up, because I do want my pie to look pretty. See that nice curved lattice? All right. Now I'm just going to take my thumb and basically put it right here on the edge. Use that as my knife. Just peel the extra dough off. Whee! Nice big thick piece there. Go all the way around the pie. And there you have it, trimmed up and ready for the next step. Now we have this extra dough left over. And the question is what to do with it. Because Lord knows you don't want good pie dough to go to waste. And with this guy, I have a decent amount. So let's have some fun with decorating. We are going to make a border. Why? Because we can. And besides, the dough on this tastes great. We're going to mash this down, kind of get it right under the lip. Plus, when you cut it, this provides a nice little, I don't know, it just holds it together good. Doo-doo-doo. Dang, more dough left. I know, let's make this a special one. And look, it's a loving apple pie. You can make it for somebody special. Oh, I gotta get an egg. We gotta do an egg wash on top of this. It gives it a nice brown crust. So hold on, let me run and go get one. There we go. Fresh out of the chicken pen. Smells like onions and dirt in here. That ain't right. We need an air freshener. Anyway, all right, we're gonna take our egg, crack it, mix it with a little bit of sugar, and make the egg wash. We take a teaspoon of sugar, crack our egg into it. Whee! Mix this guy up. All right, once this guy gets good and mixed, there's your egg wash. We just take your pastry brush, dip it in. There's really not a right or wrong or happy or sad. Well, I guess there is a happy. I can't think of a sad. But just put you a nice good coat on here. This is more for aesthetics. I mean, everybody likes that, you know, nice brown, well, perfectly done looking pie. And I mean, I'm assuming you're making this because you want to impress friends and family, not because you want to eat the whole thing, but I don't judge. If you're hungry, hey, you know, whatever makes you happy. Because I guarantee you, this is going to make you happy. Well, I take that back. I can't guarantee. Ooh, the thunders are coming. I can't guarantee this will make you happy. I mean, you leave it in the oven for way too long, and yeah, boom, you may have yourself a well done apple pie. I don't know if I'd be apple tart or apple charcoal. All right, nice coating. Let's put this guy in the hot box. Let's ease this baby into the firebox. At first, for 15 minutes at 425 degrees. All right, we've been 15 minutes at 425. Now it's time for the other 45 minutes to go down to 350. And then again for 45. Let's take a look at it. I know I want to. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Goodness. All right. Oh, the pie is ready. Let's get some nummy nums. Oh, come on out. Let's see what we got in here. Woo, look at that. Hot, 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 hot. Oh, fresh pie right out of the oven. Look at that. Look at that. Man, I don't think I have seen a prettier pie. My, my, my. Oh, man, this is going to be good. The only problem is I can't eat it now. I have learned, don't eat it right out the oven. It will taint your tongue. So we're going to let this thing sit here for an hour. Might even let it sit overnight and have it for breakfast in the morning. So stand by and we'll do the taste test in a little while. We just got to let this hot mug cool down. Oh, man. I couldn't sleep. This thing was keeping me awake. So we got to try it and see if it works. And you know, the whole purpose of the spring form is to get it out and make it just absolutely present deliciousness. So let's see what we got. Oh, oh, oh. Look at that. When I said Squatch high deep dish apple pie, I meant it. I mean, tell me, where have you seen an apple pie so deep and so delicious before? All right, I'm tired of looking at it. I'm tired of smelling it. It's time to attack it. Let's do us up a, oh man, do us up a nice little cut right here. You know, sometimes you just hate to destroy a crust like this. I mean, it just looks amazing. All right. Now, as much as I would love to be serving it off of this, I'm actually going to use my manners today. We will use the proper utensil for this, even though I am hungry. Now, let's see. Slide right in. Come right up. Bro, it even has the presentation. Let me bring this to you. This is going to be like smell-o-vision. Ooh, look at that. Set this bad boy on a plate. It dripped on me. Oh, and let's see what we got. Now, the good thing is this time, I ain't gonna burn myself because I put my tongue on toast alert before. I still ain't gonna make that stupid funny face when you eat though. Just as expected. Delicious, satisfying. And aren't apples supposed to be healthy? So does that make this a healthy dish? You know, it's got a little bit too much butter for that, but oh man, this is good. I'm gonna take the rest of this to bed. What? Don't judge. Can't a guy with feety pajamas eat his pie in peace? Now remember, folks, Sasquatch is real.